What if I told you you can get planar headphone performance at a price that's usually reserved for mid-tier dynamics? That's right. Today we're looking at the FiiO JT7, an open-back planar headphone that's turning heads in the audiophile world. Not just for its specs, but for how it actually sounds with real music. Whether it's technical fidelity, real-world comfort, or how they perform through my own listening test, you're in the right place. Let's jump in. Let's start with what the JT7 actually is. At its heart is a 95x86mm planar magnetic driver, a design that's far more precise and detailed than typical dynamic drivers at this price point. Planar drivers move the entire diaphragm evenly with magnets on both sides, which translates to lower distortion and cleaner transients. FiiO uses a proprietary technology they call FES, the FiiO Elastic System. This is essentially a multi-dimensional texture embossed onto the diaphragm that increases flexibility and excursion. What that means in practice is you get a deeper, more authoritative bass without sacrificing speed or clarity. A rare combo in value-oriented planars. In terms of build and comfort, the JT7 opts for an open-back over-ear design with replaceable earpads and headband cushions, breathable mesh materials and a foldable frame for easier storage. The open-back design naturally gives you a bigger soundstage, something we'll talk more about in the sound section. Inside the box you get dual-ended cables, a 3.5mm single-ended cable and a 4.4mm balance cable, plus a 6.3mm adapter and a soft carry pouch. One practical note, the JT7 sensitivity is around 92 dB with an impedance of 18 ohms, meaning they can be driven by most portable gear, but they appreciate a source that can deliver clean power, like this FiiO JM21. Now on to the part most of you came here for. How do they actually sound? Let's talk about how the JT7 performs with something like Billie Eilish's Ocean Eyes. With the JM21 as a source, the JT7 reveals an open and airy treble that lets vocal details, like breaths and subtle harmonies, float out into the soundstage. The mids are slightly forward, so vocals sit clearly and warmly in the mix, without feeling shouty. Bass is clean and controlled, not boomy, but still present enough to give the tune body and life. One thing you'll notice straight away is how spacious the presentation feels. Instruments don't feel shoehorned into a small box, they have room to breathe. That's classic open-back behavior, but the planar speed makes it feel precise and not muddy. Now let's switch gears. On a jazzy, smooth track like Something About Us by Daft Punk, those mid-range vocals and instruments really shine. The piano and guitars feel natural and rounded, not hollow or exaggerated. Again, the bass is there, controlled, articulate, giving rhythm without overshadowing the melody. With the JM21 nudging just enough power, the JT7 feels dynamic and expressive, not sterile or clinical. That linear response plus the wide soundstage delivers pleasant realism, something that's hard to find under $150. Overall, highs stay crisp without harsh sibilants, mids are engaging and vocal forward, and bass is fast and articulate, not bloated or overdone. That makes the JT7 versatile for pop, rock, acoustic and even light EDM. Now let's break down the pros and cons, starting with the downsides, because balance matters. The most common drawback you'll notice, and one worth mentioning up front, is that the JT7 can be somewhat picky about source pairing. When driven by a weak phone output, they may sound flat or underpowered. Give them a solid source with plenty of headroom though, and they really come alive. The build quality, with its mostly plastic hardware, can feel less premium compared to metal-heavy headphones at higher price points. You may also notice the occasional creak or minor fit quirks in the headband. Now for the good stuff, once properly driven, the sound is impressive. You get a wide soundstage, detailed treble and a mid-range that's both lush and articulate, all hallmarks of planar driver performance. For the price, it's rare to see this level of clarity and control. Comfort is excellent for long sessions, the pads are soft and the clamp isn't too aggressive, so even multi-hour listening is easy. And the value proposition? This feels like a headphone that punches well above its weight class, rivaling some gear in the plus $300 price range. So, where does all of this leave the FiiO JT7? At its core, the JT7 is an entry-level planar headphone that does not behave like one. With thoughtful engineering, from the FES diaphragm to the open back design, it manages to deliver wide, spacious sound, crisp detail and engaging tones without breaking the bank. Yes, it can be picky about source power, and yes, the build isn't luxury grade, but if sound quality and value are your priorities, the JT7 is very hard to beat at this price point. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit like, subscribe and let me know in the comments what gear you want me to test next. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.